Hello everyone, welcome to Off the Charts, episode 279. My name is Dan and I shall be your host once again. So cheers to you all. There we go. Boom. Now, before we start off, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe, tell your friends, hit the little thumbs up and little bell to be notified when I publish new content like this. I guess I've said that before, that I know it by heart now without even thinking. Anyway, today's episode. So there's a reason why I'm doing this episode here is, well, first of all, this is about the music of Spinal Tap. What is Spinal Tap? Or who is Spinal Tap? Well, it's a movie, or I would say a mockumentary. So here it is. I got the Blu-ray. This is by far in my top 5 movies of all time. Okay. Having said that, I was aware of the movie, but never saw it until, my God, I remember, I think it was a Video Music Award or something like that. And then the 3 Spinal Tap members, they're going on there and they're saying they're reuniting. And I'm like, who the hell is this? Like, who is this band, Spinal Tap? Why have I not heard about them? Then, of course, you're looking into it. You're like, oh my God, it's a fake band. It's a bunch of actors, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I went. So that was the time. So when they were reuniting was for the Break Like the Wind, their second album, Break Like the Wind, which we'll talk about later. That was when I first heard of them, and that's when I went and rented at the video store the movie This Is Spinal Tap, which I invited a bunch of my friends over, and I liked it the first time, but it's one of those movies you have the more you rewatch, the more you love. Anyway, one of my top 5, so full of good quotes. But that was the first time I heard of them. Then I went backwards and got all the movies, the music, and we'll get into that. But the reason I have decided to do Spinal Tap was, one, I just got something in the mail yesterday. So we'll talk about that. But a couple days ago, I was just showing some movies to my dad. So I said, hey, you want to watch? This is Spinal Tap. He's like, ah, sure, whatever. I didn't tell him that this was a fake documentary. I didn't tell him this was a fake band. I just wanted to see his reaction. So I'm sitting beside him and I'm laughing because he is bitching at the TV and at me. He's like, these guys are morons. Like, who the hell? These guys suck. Like they're when they're practicing Give Me Some Money in the movie, and then the girlfriend, comes in the theater. Like, you could see how sloppy they are. But he just couldn't believe how stupid this band was. And he's like, they get lost backstage, the Stonehenge issue. And he's like, look at it. I mean, he laughed a few times there. But it's probably, I don't know if it was the best way for me to enjoy the movie, but it was definitely the most different way. Because I've watched this movie with myself, with friends and whatnot. But when my dad, I was laughing for different reasons because he was not aware. Even though I was kept dropping hints, don't you recognize that actor? Don't you recognize that actor? And at the end, I told him, at the end, Dad, it's a fake band. These are a bunch of actors who, anyway. And he's like, oh, okay. So after that, so just FYI, so there's this movie, This Is Spinal Tap. This is, I guess, when I got into Spinal Tap, was the Break Like the Wind tour. They filmed a concert for this year. Decent. You could tell these guys are actors and not actual musicians because, their voice lets out, their talent is limited, but they're still better than you and I guess, when it comes to musicians there. They get the job done. They're good writers, whether it's funny or whatever. But anyway, yeah, at the same time, the guy who plays Nigel Tufnell, Well, he's made a bunch of mockumentaries. I'm like, we've watched Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, A Mighty Wind, which I've just ordered the vinyl of. Real Gone Music is having a sale, and I just got the email. I'm like, oh my god, talk about coincidence, and of course for your consideration. So, but we're here to talk about the music, right? So cheers again. Well, I've had this forever, but this is what I got the other day. So, if you're in the know, or if you know, you know, this is, or should be, Smell the Glove by Spinal Tap. It's like this here. This is the gatefold. Here's a bunch of their fake albums that they've released in the past. Intravenous de Milo. Great titles here. Shark Sandwich, we all know that one. But I sent pictures yesterday to a couple of friends. Well, look what I got in the mail. And they're like, okay, is that Metallica or Spinal Tap? Well, if you guys know me by now, you should know that it's not going to be Metallica. So, yeah, this is the original soundtrack of the movie Spinal Tap, which, like I said, I love so much. I have on CD. And I forgot to mention, just thinking about that now, I forgot to mention this in my best soundtracks episode. Whatever. Should have been up here. But yeah, what's cool about the music here is, well, the movie here. Harry Shearer, Michael McKean, and Christopher Guest, okay? Nigel Tufnell, David St. Hubbins, and what the hell is this guy's name again there? I forget. Probably, why do I forget? Derek Smalls, right? That's what it is? Yeah, try to find a, anyway, yeah, Derek Smalls, I believe. But anyway, so what's cool about this movie soundtrack is the three guys I just showed you there are the ones that recorded and wrote the music. So what you see in the movie and what you'll see or hear in the soundtrack are all songs recorded and written by those three guys, with additional musicians like keyboards and drummers, obviously, there. But the bass, vocals, and guitars are done by Michael McKean, Christopher Guest, and Harry Shearer. So that's what I mean. I find them very talented, as in they can play mandolins, and again, to a point. I'm not saying that they're Steve Vais. That's not at all what I'm talking about here. But anyway, this is the original soundtrack to the movie Spinal Tap, but in the movie, it would be Smell the Glove, which a lot of people say when Metallica did the Black Album, goes, did they copy off Smell the Glove? So, yeah, you got Hellhole, which is actually sung by Nigel Tufnell, probably the only lead vocal he has. And there's a video for it. They made a video for it at the time. I remember actually singing it at Power Hour. It's a good song. I like it. Tonight I'm Gonna Rock You Tonight, another good song. Heavy Duty. It's one, I remember my friend saying how much he hated metal bands when they would put classical parts in it. So, and this one is no exception. Heavy Duty's got the da 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 da, whatever that is there. America's probably my least favorite of all the original songs here. Cups and Cakes. That's an old. Oh yeah. Well, I'll get to. Well, I'll say that now. Another quote from my dad when we were watching the movie. So Cups and Cakes, if you watch it in the movie, it's in black and white, okay? And then my dad's like, "My God, this is some old footage here." I'm like, in my head, no, it was all done in 1983 or 4, whenever this movie came out. Anyway, Cups and Cakes. It's a very old song. Sounds like UK British royalty type music there. Big Bottom on side two. That's got to be my favorite. The lyrics are so. Oh, actually, I did, which I never noticed here. Was this in the CD? So each. No. So okay, check this out. So the CD pretty much only has the songs right here, but check out the vinyl. It has. So let's see, I'm trying to get it to Big Bottom from their album that never appeared, that never got Brain Hammer. So it tells you from which album of these six that the songs I've never seen this before. Like I said, I just got this yesterday. The vinyl version. I know this album by heart. Sex Farm, which is another great one. But Big Bottom, the lyrics are so good. You gotta read the lyrics for that, or just Stonehenge is gonna be my favorite moment. I mean, it seems to be everybody's favorite moment in the movie Stonehenge. But right now I'm kind of looking for deep cut jokes, because I've seen this movie so many times. Great song too. Give Me Some Money. And of course, Listen to the Flower People, which is like a 60s. But anyway, I find that this is actually a great soundtrack. What I, what I find the most amazing about all this is actually that the actors went and recorded and written everything. So what you hear is like, to me, that's the type of talented, I guess, I would love to be, like actor, director, musician, recording artist. Like these guys do it all. They do voiceovers, The Simpsons and all these movies. It's all Christopher Guest that directs them, but it's also Michael McKean's also in them, and Harry Shearer. They're there often, plus all the same actors. But anyway, so that was the original soundtrack. Then, when I heard about this reunion, that's when I watched the movie for the first time. Then I went and got this, which is Break Like the Wind. This is what they were announcing. Now, it's good. Is it as good as the songs on the soundtrack? No. There's, but we'll go through the songs here. Bitch School. So this is you'll notice this is my Bitch School t-shirt here. And I remember when the video came out and they were getting in trouble for this. And I mean, they're actors and they're comedians, okay? They write clever, sarcastic jokes. And I remember watching the video for the first time on the Power Hour, and the VJ at the time was Teresa Roncon, and she was not impressed. She's like, "Come on, bitch! Come on, guy! Bitch School! Like that is so sexist, and you guys are better than that, and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Whatever." I think the song's great and it's funny, and I love how they defend this. It's actually a song about dogs. It's not what you think. Well, not this year. This is what kind of Smell the Glove was supposed to be, sort of like here. But anyway, yeah, Bitch Cool was great. It's a great song. Look at Nigel Tufnell's guitar, which is a bunch of Marshall. Anyway, you'd have to see the video for that there. And I remember there's also a video for The Majesty of Rock, and I remember it starts off with the Queen Elizabeth, whatever, second, or the one that just died a couple of years ago, superimposed on somebody else's. My mom, I remember, I was watching TV. She's like, "Oh my God, stay that there. That's the Queen." I'm like, "That's not what you think it is." So anyway, The Majesty of Rock, another great song. Then Diva Fever is good. It's just in the middle. It kind of gets Cash on Deliveries again. Just Begin Again. Eh. The Sun Never Sweats is okay. Rainy Day Sun. Eh. Break Like the Wind's a great song. Stinking Up the Great Outdoors is good. Springtime, eh. Clam Caravan, eh. Christmas with the Devil is decent. And All the Way Home is the recorded version of the song that they sing in the movie in the restaurant there. What was the first song you ever wrote? So good, I would say not great. While this, or the is great stuff right here. I love this here, and there's a lot of guest stars like Cher and Dweezil Zappa and whatnot. I forget who else there, but anyway, that's the second album, and then a couple of years later, this one, it's re-recorded versions of albums 1 and 2, pretty much there. So it's Back from the Dead. I find that I've shown this before on an episode of Gimmicks there. Well, yeah, like the okay. Anyway, I'm not gonna do it again there, but watch my episode of Gimmicks if you want to see the final product of this there. But yeah, it ends up with a stage. Of them, but anyway, it's got like remake, which one of my rants, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, is when bands re-record their songs for like a greatest hits, but you can see that their voice, like everything's down tuned, or you know what I mean there, like Hello Dawkins, Bullet Boys, Warrant, like they're these sort of greatest hits re-recorded or not great. Let me put it that way. But yeah, this is what this is with a Back from the Dead, which is a decent song. They redo Sex Farm. They do Jazz Odyssey. So when they're, I guess when Nigel leaves and they're playing like at some sort of marine land or splash water park, whatever, it's puppet show and Spinal Tap, and then they're doing the Jazz Odyssey. So this is on here. They actually did Jazz Odyssey 1, Jazz Odyssey 2, and 3. I mean, there's new songs like Rock and Roll Nightmare, Heavy. My God, this is heavy. Oh no, Heavy Duty's a big one. Celtic Blues or Celtic Blues, Warmer Than Hell, Short and Sweet. So it's okay. But if you really like Spinal Tap, like I said, what I would suggest is the movie and the original movie soundtrack right here. To me, this screams originality, while this screams, let's try to rebuild the legacy we had as a cult. So I'm actually curious, and if I ever meet Christopher Guest, this is the question I would ask him. And I'm asking you guys, the viewers, if you've seen the movie, and when do you feel Spinal Tap caught on? Like, to me, I didn't know. I knew the name, but nobody was in our immediate group of friends were talking about it until I rented that damn movie. But it wasn't until this was 92. Yeah, around 91, 92 is the first time I heard about Spinal Tap. When we watched the movie, then the floodgates opened here. I'm talking with my immediate circle of friends. But when did Spinal Tap become the phenomenon it is now? Was it like when it was in theaters in 80? So does it have the year here? 83? There we go. Maybe there's a 84, this album here. So, because I remember reading when it first clicked, and I remember the stupidest stuff, but I was reading either a Metal Edge or Circus or Hit Parader, and someone or one of those magazines had asked Eric Carr what his favorite movie, or they asked a bunch of rock stars what their favorite this and that are, and Eric Carr wrote his favorite movie was This Is Spinal Tap. I'm like, okay, what is that? That's probably what, But I remember the guitar, the video case of the guitar, you know, like the first airplane movie, the guitar just like intertwined like a knot there. I remember that, but just never watching it. Like I said, it wasn't until the early '90s until I watched Spinal Tap. So curious to know if you guys watched it in the theaters. When for you did this movie become such a huge cult phenomenon? I want to say cult. That is for a cult movie, or this is huge, But yeah, if you have time to check out, like I said, songs to me that are worth checking out, definitely Big Bottom. Just lyrics wise, I think is funny and brilliant at the same time. Uh, Stonehenge, just watched the scene of the movie. It's great right there. But also, if you know somebody who's never seen the movie, watch it with them, but don't tell them it's fake. I remember watching, sorry, lending that movie when I was like, oh my God, Spinal Tap is the best thing, and I lent it to my friend Steph, the guy who does the Battle of the Album. I'm talking about the '90s here, early '90s here, and he comes back with me. He's like, yeah, the movie is like, I said, but is that a real band or is that a fake band? Like, just to tell you, at the time we were unsure if it was um, a real band or not. And like, there's so many cameos also in that movie that. But what I do like is the camaraderie or the friendship between those three actors, because they seem to love working with each other, and they're doing mockumentaries all over the place there. There's some I don't have because they don't exist on Blu-ray or DVD there, especially the one like Mascots. Not available anyway. But anyway, that's not whatever there. Also, like I say, if you want a decent concert, for me, you'll be like, oh yeah, this is typical Dan. This one, when they're playing, was it Big Bottom? Is it the last song? Honestly. Anyway, they play Big Bottom, and there's this really hot girl. I hate using the word butterface, but anyway, you'll know what I mean there. But with the best black top and Scottish kilt there, whatever there, and she looks friggin' awesome body. Face is okay, but she's in. They bring a whole bunch of girls on stage when they're playing Big Bottom there, and it's near the end. That's honestly the only thing I remember from that, and it wasn't that girl. She was just like, wow, pretty hot. Anyway, so that is my episode regarding Spot That. I'm trying to, but anyway, it's like I said, it's not just about the movie. Like I said, the music itself. Check, like I said, the songs are there, especially for the first soundtrack. But I'm curious to know about your experiences with the movie. This is Spinal Tap, and I don't know if you heard, but they're actually filming Spinal Tap 2, so that should be coming out in 2025. Whatever. There's I'll be the judge of, like, right now I'm like, okay, why are you doing this? But you never know, right? So we'll see in 2025. I'll definitely buy it, and we'll see there. Will it be as good? Probably not, but you never know. There's always a few times where there's these sequels are good. I trust those three guys. Let me put it that way. And there you go. That's my episode on that. So let me know your thoughts regarding the movie and the music of Spinal Tap. So on that note, have yourselves a great whatever, and we shall see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.